So here's another review for the midterm. I'm just going through a couple questions, not every question on the midterm because you already have done that. All right, so which domain would be most appropriate for a function that represents the cost of tickets, f of x, based on x as the number of tickets purchased? So tickets. You can only buy whole numbers of tickets, so it has to be whole numbers. Usually what I do is I ask myself two questions. I ask myself, can it be negative, which is definitely a no. And because it can't be negative, you can actually cross out 3 of the choices. But then I also ask myself, can it be a half? Like, can you buy half a ticket? Not really. Okay, so next one. Which of the following equations for the inequalities shown below? All right, so I'm going to start with the fact that this is shaded below. And you always do that with respect to the y-axis. So I'm looking, it's below that -1. And then that line is also dotted. So I'm looking for a less than symbol with no equal bar. And hopefully that's enough. If it's not, then I have to go back and actually find the equation. And yeah, that looks like that's enough. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna move this because I might have to figure out how to make this a little zoomed better. That's better. Okay. All right, here we go. Convert 2 miles per hour to feet per... Darn it. Of course I moved that into the worst spot ever. To feet per minute. Okay, so I'm going to start with 2 miles in 1 hour. Okay, so if I want to get rid of the word miles, I have to put it in the denominator because it's currently in the numerator, and I want to be able to do miles crossed out with miles. Okay, so I know that there are 5,280 feet in a mile. It's also on the reference sheet. Okay, now I want to get rid of the word hour, so it's in the denominator, so I'm going to put it in the numerator because I want to do that. And I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. So if I look at the words that are left, I have the words feet per minute left. So I know that whatever number I get, it's going to be in the correct units. So I'm just going to take my calculator and I'm going to do the multiplication. When I do it all as a fraction. So in my numerator, I'm doing 2 times 5,280. And in my denominator, I'm doing 60. I got the answer of 176, so it's 176 feet per minute. Honestly, if you focus on the words, you usually can get these right because, like, the way I look at it is I want to be able to cancel out things that equal to 1. So like mile over mile equals 1. If g of x is equal to the absolute value of x, which of the following is a shift of 3 units down? So you have the absolute value of x plus, I'm sorry, it's minus h. Let me erase that. Erase. Okay, back to writing. Absolute value of x minus h plus k. If you can remember that, then you don't even really need the calculator. But if you don't remember it, you just type those 4 choices in the calculator and look which one went down. So a shift down would be this choice right here. And I'm going to try to pull up my calculator to show you. So let me see. Ignore calculator. Hopefully it'll come up. If not, I'll try to like stick this in the window. I hope everyone's having a good day. I wonder if it's going to snow. I always wonder that. Okay, so I'm here in my y equals. I'm going to clear out what I have. And I'm going to type in what I think is the right answer. So math, arrow over, enter. Of course, this is in the way. Nothing goes smooth. X. Subtraction 3, hit the word graph. So that is 3 down. So remember, this is the origin, and the original one, the parent function, is always has the vertex centered at the origin, so that's down. Okay, absolute value is under the word math. Okay, so now I just got to figure out how to get all this back. And not really seeing it up here. Maybe if I just go back to this, it'll come up. Okay, there we go. All right, here we go. Now this is in the middle of everything. What a day. Okay, which of the following is equivalent to the square root of 40 in simplest radical form? Okay, I'm going to cross out 3 because that's not simplest radical form anyway. All right, so what I do is I take the 40 and I think about perfect squares. So it would be radical 4 times radical 10. 4 times 10 is 40, so that's the first part. But the idea is that I'm picking one factor that's a perfect square, and that's why I chose the 4. The 10 just happens to be what 4 times 10 is 40. So I do the square root of 4, which is 2, and I get 2 radical 10. You can also type these choices into the calculator and look for decimal equivalents. That's how you know you're right. So like if I type the square root of 40 into my calculator, here, second square root 40 into my calculator, and I type 2 second square root radical 10 into my calculator, they have to be the same decimal. The only thing with this is you have to make sure that what's under the radical sign, the radicand, is in simplest form. So sometimes this works to get the answer, and sometimes it always works for a check, but sometimes if they give you one that's not in simplest form, you might get fooled. Okay? Don't get fooled. Find the solution for the following. All right, so you have 2 choices. Unless they give you a piece of graph paper, then you have 3 choices. So I kind of go with the fact that if it's in standard form, x, y equals sign number, x, y equals sign number, I do elimination. So I'm going to multiply the top one by 5, and I'm going to multiply the bottom one by -4. So I chose to go with eliminating the x's. You could have done something similar and eliminated the y's. So then you would be looking for 2 times 3 is 6. So you'd be looking for eliminating with a 6 and a -6. Okay. So 20x plus 10y is equal to 40. Minus 20x minus 12y is equal to -44. And that's like a lot of distributing. It's technically the multiplication property of equality. If you multiply everything in the equation by the same number, you keep a true or valid equation. All right, so 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 8 is 40, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 3 is 12, and 4. Okay, so now I'm good. So what happens is the x's cancel out, and I'm left with the -2y equals -4. I divide by -2, I divide by -2, and I get y equals 2. When y equals 2, I'm only halfway there because I need an x and a y, like partnerships. All right, so I'm going to just go back, and I'm going to go here, and I just picked any one, it doesn't matter. And that's going to give me 4x plus 4. 4 because 2 times 2 is 4 equals 8. And I can kind of do this in my head. I know that x is going to be 1 because if you subtract 4 from each side, you get 4. Divide by 4, you get 1. So I get 1 comma 2. You could probably mentally check it because the numbers are kind of small. So it does check out. But you can also use the calculator. All right, what is the equation of a line that passes through the point with a slope? So on the reference sheet, there's point slope form. And you would just like look at it on the reference sheet. It's y minus y. So this is the y. So these are both wrong. Okay, y minus y equals slope. They all have the half. And then it's x minus x. So what I have is x minus a minus 2, which makes it plus 2. Okey-doke. All right, what's that? Ooh, how many solutions does it have? Okay, you can use your calculator for this. Like, you can type the left side into y sub 1 and the right side into y sub 2. And if they cross, there's a solution. But you can also just evaluate by inspection. 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times -6 is -12. All right, so they have the same slope, but they have different y-intercepts, which means they are parallel. Parallel lines never intersect, so that's no solution. Okay. Negative 12 will never equal positive 12. Oh, domain and range. Love these. Okay, so smallest x, negative 11. Biggest x, positive 10. Closed circle gets square bracket, open circle gets curved bracket or parentheses. Okay, lowest y, 1. Biggest y, I think it's 7. So it's the same idea. It's left, right, low, high. Domain is x, range is y. Find the average rate of change from negative 2 to 4. All right, so here's negative 2 and here's 4. The rest of it you kind of just ignore. Okay, all right, so y minus y over x minus x. You could also do it the other way. You could do negative 2 minus 10 over 4 minus negative 2. You get the same answer. I'm getting a 2. Let's see. So, it should be a negative 2. So what did I do wrong here? 10. It should be a negative 2. 4 minus a negative 2, 10 minus, oh my gosh, I see what I did. Okay, so I went in the opposite direction here. This should be negative 2 minus 4. Okay, that's what I did. All right, so it's negative 2. So if you're going in this direction, you have to go in this direction on that side. That's all. That was bad. Okay, graph. You can totally put this in your calculator, and you can copy the graph from that. The vertex is going to be 2 comma negative 3. And you can totally put this in your calculator, and if you go back in the video, I did show you how to put it in the calculator before. So 2 comma negative 3 is the vertex. Whoops, don't know what I hit there. Two comma negative 3 is the vertex, and then you just need a couple of points on each side, and always add the arrows. Okay, so remember, you can totally put that in your graphing calculator. You hit y equals, you type it in. Totally put that in your graphing calculator. Okay. Is the point part of the solution set? Honestly, I wouldn't bother graphing it. I'm just going to plug and chug. So 4, put in the x, minus 3, put in the y, is greater than 17. So I'm really looking to say, hey, is this true or not true? Is this true or not true? So 8 plus 9, and you can use your calculator for that. 17 greater than 17? No. No. 17 is not greater than 17. No, it is not. Oh boy. Tickets for a movie are based on adult or children. I don't understand why we do that, but whatever. I mean, they're taking up a seat. Okay. If a group of 3 adults and 4 children plays 68, 2 adults and 6 children play 72, how much is each adult and each child? All right, I'm writing a system. So 3 adults plus 4 children equal 68. 2 adults plus 6 children equals 72. 3 adults, 4 children, 2 adults, 6 children, 72. All right, so I'm going to multiply the top one by 2, the bottom one by negative 3. So I get 6a plus 8c equals 136. I'm going to get negative 6 12A minus 18C equals negative 216. All right, let me just double check my multiplication because I would hate to get this far along and have made a mistake. 136. Okay, I'd multiply correctly. Some days I just don't have it, and some days I do. Okay, so I'm gonna subtract. I get negative 80. Divide by 10, that's 8 children. No, $8, because it's cost, $8. Okay, so $8 for a kid. Now I gotta go back and find the price for the adult. So I'm gonna use this one here. So if it's $8 per kid and there's 4 kids, that's $32. So 68 minus $32 is $36. Divide that by 3, you get $12 per an adult. And then obviously you can like check that out, like by plugging it in. And this was child. And I hope you write neater than I am. Okay, here we go. Solve and graph. I love these. All right, so combine the like terms. Minus 4x plus 14. Honestly, there's not much in math I don't like. I'm trying now I'm going to think about it. I'm probably going to spend the next day thinking about what don't I like to do. I love math. I do. Which I guess makes it good for me. Divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. X is greater than 5. Okay, so I combined the like terms. 3 minus 7 is negative 4. And then I copied. I did the opposite of adding 14, subtracting 14, and that's how I got the negative 20. And then the opposite of multiplying is dividing. When you divide an inequality and you're dividing by a negative, you have to reverse or flip the inequality symbol. So now the graph of this would be on a number line, and the number line is provided for you on the midterm. So I'm just going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6, 7. Open circle, and it's going to go to the greater than sign. Awesome sauce. Okay. Oh, like this is so easy, and so many people get this wrong. So really, like, focus on this. Okay. So this is like a graph. Okay. It's not the best graph, but you can use graph paper if you want. All right. So the x-intercept is 2, which means it's 2 right here. The y-intercept is 6, which means it's 6 right here. And then that's my line. Okay. Now, that first point is 0, 6. That second point is 2, 0. Slope is change in y. Well, the y went down 6. The y was here, it went down to here. Y went down 6. Over change in x, the x went over 2, so the slope has to be negative 3. Like, yeah. It's a super easy one. I think the picture helps, but the points help because if you have 2 points, you can do slope, you can use a calculator, etc., etc. I wish you such good luck on your midterm, and I know you can do it. And I know that sometimes people are like, hey, come meet me for pizza, let's go out. Put your education first. Go for pizza tonight. Not tonight. Go after the midterm. All right. Anyway, have a great night. I hope you're studying. If you're not hearing me anyway. Bye.